Well, what's going on, everybody? If you've been living underneath a rock, then you probably don't know much about what has been going on with Veritasium. I believe it was August 12th. SEC filed an emergency suit towards Veritasium Inc. and Reggie Middleton. Well, I guess the company, Veritasium Incorporated. Now, there's a lot of interesting things going on with this, and I'm going to share with you my opinions. Again, they're only my opinions. You do what you want, but I would do your own research into this and probably consider different things that can happen or might happen or probably will happen. 2016, Reggie Middleton decides he's going to have an ICO. He files with the SEC to get exempted. He gets exempted. Holds the ICO. ICO ends, I believe, in May of 2017. So that happens. Before the SEC came out with any guidelines for running an ICO, I believe the guidelines or anything there, any ICO that wasn't finished before July something, maybe. Veritasium was done before that. Now, the SEC is going after Veritasium for investor fraud by pumping the price, paying people to pump the price, so on and so forth. Now, it's questionable because I don't know if people were technically pumping the price. Also being listed on not normal exchanges or registered exchanges. I don't know what's going to come out of this, to be honest with you. What I do know for sure is that this lawsuit, Reggie's going to fight it tooth and nail. And I have some pretty good faith in Reggie that, you know, he's going to fight it, and he might have the right people, the right lawyers, because the people he had on his team used to work for the SEC, I believe, or work as one of the lawyers for the SEC. They're just, I don't know, there's a lot of things. Many of these other ICOs would be like, yeah, they're done. Veritasium, I don't know, they might be able to make it through this and come out okay. If I was Reggie, I'd be going after the SEC for defamation of character, because I don't think, just based off of his prior history, I can't see him being a liar, scammer, so on and so forth. Has he changed, some of the outlook for Veritasium or how it was going to function? Yeah, probably because of regulatory issues. But I do know he's been overseas in other countries really working hard with other people, not just here in the United States. And he said before that the regulatory concerns in the United States are nothing more than a major headache. So what are you going to do? I really don't know. I would say at this point it's still early on, so you could hodl if you're holding Veritasium. You could do a wait and see. Maybe this is a false alarm. I don't know. I haven't really seen or heard anyone come out and definitely verify that the documents that were released, I mean, they look like they're legit documents, so I can't see why they wouldn't be. But it's pretty easy to fake stuff anymore. And I also want to know who's truly behind this fiasco, because it sounds to me like someone got upset about something and went to the SEC and said, go after Veritasium. It's been like 2 years and they haven't done anything. Well, they've done stuff, but like we've all learned, regulations can slow down a process of innovation. The other thing you could do is try to sell it now. I mean, if you sell it for, I don't know, around $5 or $6 and take your loss, or hold it, probably be best to hold on to it maybe in Ethereum. If you hold on to an Ethereum and kind of stick it in a separate address, and then you don't touch it, and then if things change, or hey, if it drops down to below $1 and drops down to a penny, buy a bunch, I guess. I don't know. If it drops down to close to a penny, you might see a lot of people snatch it up. I don't know. But I think this lawsuit's going to be drawn out. I would say at the minimum, it's going to take at least a year, possibly longer. And my other question I have is, why was it an emergency suit? Why did it have to be an emergency suit? Many of these other ICOs didn't have an emergency suit filed against them. So, there's a lot of problems there, at least from my perspective. I don't really care for it. And I've told you guys before, I hate regulations in the crypto space simply because I think it's going to slow down innovation and adoption. And then when stuff comes out like this, if you're, a business owner or investor, now you're like, well, I don't know. The SEC's cracking down on the cryptocurrencies. Yeah, it's one of those things. It doesn't scare me away from crypto. I really, truly, wholeheartedly believe that this stuff, it's the next logical step. It's the next evolution from a simple perspective. And you can't deny that with the amount of companies that are investing in it and what they're doing. When you have larger companies like Facebook wanting to create the Libra coin, and then you have Walmart filed a patent for their stable coin. It's coming. It'll get here. What about all the other cryptos? I think they're still going to be used. I think they might be the networks on which these new supposed cryptocurrencies or new digital money is going to travel on. And you're still going to have your ICO companies out there that are going to do well. So who knows? I'd be curious to see if Cliff High has anything to say about this, because he was called in for information about some stuff recently. I don't know if it pertained to Veritasium. Maybe he wasn't allowed to say. Maybe it did. Maybe it didn't. I don't know. But I do know there's a lot of people out there that were trustworthy people that vetted Veritasium and did their homework. And then there are others that called it a scam from the get-go. I don't really know. I do know they didn't sell out of their ICO, and Reggie was holding on to those tokens and using them to help onboard businesses and stuff that came along. So, I don't know. I have to wait and see. If you're a conservative, I'd probably try to sell. You're a little bit of a risk taker. There's a fire sale right now on Veritasium. Get yourself some. So, I don't know. It's up to you guys. Do what you want to do. I'm not giving you any financial advice, but I just wanted to share with you my perspective. So, anyway, thank you guys so much for always tuning in. I truly, truly appreciate it. I hope you're all doing well, and I will probably have another video. You might get a twofer today. 2 for Wednesday. Because I did start this Veritasium video yesterday and ended up getting interrupted by a phone call. But anyway, until we meet again, stay crypto, my friends.